All right. Hello, everybody. And thanks for being here with us. First off, congratulations to Wisconsin. Good win for their program. And, football is usually a game that the team that makes the fewest mistakes wins. And they made a lot less mistakes than us. They played much better fundamental football. I'm proud of the way we competed to the very end. I thought our guys battled physically, but we just made too many of the fatal mistakes to overcome. A block punt that leads to a touchdown. We take a lead in the third quarter, and then we give up a 60, 70-yard kickoff return. We throw 4 interceptions in the last 17, 18 minutes of the game. We had some eye violations on defense in the play action game. And what happens is a very good, hard-fought, competitive game got out of hand because of all the turnovers and special teams miscues. So we just made way too many mistakes to win a football game. And again, congratulations to Wisconsin. But I certainly want to thank our coaches, staff, and players, the commitment they've made since July. I want to thank Danny Morrison and the Charlotte Sports Foundation for inviting us to play in their bowl game, and the Panthers and Dukes Mayo for their sponsorship of this event. And again, we did a lot of good things. We moved the football. It's not too often you outgain a team 518 to 266 and lose the game. But when you throw 4 picks, you're not going to ever overcome that. So again, disappointed, proud of the effort, but we'll learn from it, grow from it, and hopefully be a better program in 21 because of it.
Coach, what would you attribute those mistakes to?
I mean, we threw 1 interception all year. And I just think we telegraphed some things. I thought he held on to targets too long, and Wisconsin did a great job of breaking on his eyes and breaking on the arm action. We missed some throws. We had open guys in the first half that we missed. I really thought we should have come out of that half, up 21-7 or 28-14, and we just missed some plays. We dropped the ball, missed open receivers, and Wisconsin is just a steady, consistent program that doesn't beat themselves. And, it's not one thing. They did a great job, and we didn't play well. We just made too many mistakes at the quarterback position to overcome.
Coach, can you talk about the first interception? It looked like a little wheel route out to the left, and the running back didn't seem to turn around to see the throw. What happened there?
Well, they ran a field pressure, and our quarterback thought it was a man pressure, and it was his own pressure. So they dropped the one guy out, and the ball shouldn't have gone there. That wasn't the design of the play. We hit that thing earlier against man, and we got a nice sideline route to Christian Beal, but that's not where the ball goes against zone. So we misread it and threw it right to him.
Dave, did you consider giving Sam a break at some point and throwing someone else in there to see how they would do?
Yeah, Les, but it's a 14-point game. He's been our quarterback all year. There's 13 minutes left. I mean, you're hoping with all the snaps he's taken, he'd play himself out of it. And then when we threw the 4th one, at that point, it was just, he was just not in a good place. And I thought we should give those other guys an opportunity to see what they can do.
Is it fair to say that he showed some signs of snapping out of it at times too?
Yeah, I mean, we threw picks on how many consecutive possessions, Les? And they weren't good picks. They weren't a tip ball or, we just threw it right to him. So, he just wasn't seeing things, feeling things, whatever. And I thought he played really well in the first quarter. The second half missed some throws. And I thought in the third quarter, he really settled down and was playing well. And that really I mean, here it's our 9th game, and for 8 games and 3 quarters, we didn't really throw interceptions. And all of a sudden the dam opened and the floodgates, and wow, I never, ever thought we would have lost the game like that.
Dave, were the linebackers doing something that maybe you guys didn't think they were going to do? Were they kind of cheating up, or what's going on there with the linebackers?
You know, I'll defer and watch the film on that one, John. I mean, the linebacker dropped and we thought it was a man pressure and it was zone. The other, just the safety jumped it. We were running slant routes and we threw the ball late and the safety just jumped it. Again, the other 2, I'll have to watch that closer, but just not a good day.
What was your message to the team after this game, especially having gone through such a bizarre season, so many missed games and practices? What was the message you just presented to those in the locker room after this game?
Well, first of all, it's the last game of the season. So the season has a message, and the primary message of the season is how proud I am of them. And this is a group that stuck together for 183 days and 6 game cancellations and 61 COVID tests. And here we are, December 30th, and we're still playing football. So from a season overview, I'm really proud of them. We competed. We competed with one of the better football programs in the country, but our players are smart. They know why you lose a game like this. You can't throw 4 picks. You can't have a punt blocked. You can't give up a long kickoff return. You can't take your eyes off a guy in man coverage and beat good football teams. And those things just snowballed. And this went from an extremely competitive game that I thought we should have won to a non-competitive game because of that. And we control those things. I'm excited about the future of our program. Almost every senior that starts for us, other than Boogie Basham, is going to come back. And so I think we've really set ourselves up to have a really good football team in 21. But 21's a long time from now. This one's going to sting for a few weeks. And I think our guys need a break and they need rest and they need to get away and see their families. And we'll regroup and we'll start attacking 21.
Dave, how did you feel the defense played?
Overall, not bad. I really thought if we could hold Wisconsin to under 150 yards rushing, we'd win the game. And we held them to 122, and they only had 266 yards of offense. But, I mean, you can only give a team a short field how many times? Their second score is, from the 9-yard line. They had the ball at the 2-yard line, from the 3-yard line. I mean, our offense and our special teams put our defense in a bad spot. So we certainly didn't lose this game on defense. When you give that many short fields, I mean, again, I credit Wisconsin, but we beat ourselves and they didn't beat themselves. And that's what good football teams do. They don't beat themselves.
Hey, Coach Clawson.
Yes.
Hey, it's Chris Seidel from Henderson Radio. Sorry for your tough loss today. Just talk about the running game. Are you excited about the running game for 2021?
Yeah. I mean, we'll have all of our starting offensive linemen back, and we'll have all of our guys that got carries back, and we'll have all of our tight ends back. And good football players usually get better from year to year. And, we really need to get back into the weight room. We missed a whole off season last year, and we need to get back in there. And I expect us to be better. And I think, there's a lot of optimism, but we got to put in the work.
Dave, getting back to Sam a little bit, is he a kind of kid that can kind of shrug this off, not shrug it off, but how is he going to overcome this, with a long off season like this?
Well, we got to wait and see, John. Again, all year I thought he did a great job of taking care of the football, and today was very uncharacteristic of Sam and our football team.
Dave, you mentioned how optimistic you are for next season, but how important are the next few months? I know you talked about getting back in the weight room, but spring practice, whatever that will look like, I mean, how important does that become with such a large roster?
I mean, it's always important, Connor. And I mean, there's a part of me that's amazed we even got to where we got this year, missing all the weight rooms and spring practices we did. I mean, I say it again and again, we're a developmental program. And when a developmental program doesn't get a chance to develop, that's hard. And all those gains we typically make March, April, May, June, we didn't get to make those this year. You know, we're not a 5-star show up and play group. You get better year to year to year. And we're big into charting strength gains and speed gains. And none of those things happen this year. So that's, you know, our program is made in those winter and spring months, and skipping it is really challenging for us. So it's really important for 21 that we have a really good spring and summer.
Dave, you talked a lot about the 24-hour rule and not letting a win or loss carry over beyond that. And then you've also talked about a bye week, it being really tough to deal with the loss after a bye week. How do you deal with an end of season loss like this? And how do you mentally turn the page to next season with your group?
You hope that it's motivation. I mean, every man in that locker room knows that thing shouldn't have ended up the way it did. And when you take ball security for granted, you know, that's what happens. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you, Les. I mean, we've won 3 bowl games and now we've lost 2, and it's just football. I mean, win or loss, you got to find a way to turn the page and move on. So again, this one bothers me. This will sting. But we'll regroup and we'll attack 21, and that'll be a new year and a new season.
Anything else here for Coach?
I have one. Dave, Mike Solarte, Spectrum News 1. Is this how will you, maybe this is a better question for a couple of days from now, but how will you best remember this football season? You just talked about the lack of developmental opportunities that you had. You guys still end up making a bowl game. I mean, if you kind of can put this in perspective, and I know it's kind of tough, but what has this year meant to you in terms of you and your staff and your kids and your young men, I should say, and how you guys finish this thing out?
I don't think our team's ever been more unified, or the brotherhood ever has been stronger. So again, I told our players this last night, and I've said it multiple times, that, you know, the evaluation of 2020 isn't necessarily how many wins or what the ranking was, is what team stuck together to the very end. And we were one of those teams that stuck together to the very end. And I'm really proud of our team for doing that. And, you know, the highlights and lowlights of this year weren't necessarily wins and losses. They were more COVID tests and team meetings and opt-outs and things like that. So, again, I'm proud we got back to a bowl. You know, we had a great October and won some games, and we certainly didn't finish the way we wanted to. But with as many new starters that we broke in this year, I thought our guys competed. And, you know, there was a few we won easily, 1 or 2 we lost, and the rest of the games we were right in there. And we won a couple of them, and we lost a couple of them. So I'm hoping that we can take a next step as a program and, you know, be just a higher level team overall next year.
You guys good? All right. Thanks, Coach.